Hey, what's going on, everybody? Alex here with Freedom Mowers. Hope you guys are doing great. Got a push mower that came in a while back. Actually, I bought it in kind of an unknown condition. We're going to jump right into things today and see what we can find out. All right, guys, I'm going to start things out today quickly. I've got a Toro recycler, 22-inch. It's got a Briggs & Stratton on it. It's been sitting for a while and would not start. Checked it, had no fuel. When I did put fuel in it, this is the problem we're having now. It's just dumping fuel out. So we're gonna get right into this and see if we can get this mower fixed. All right, well, since we know that we've got a issue with the carburetor leaking, we're gonna go right into that. Take the air cleaner off. And then we've got 3 bolts in here to take off the air cleaner housing. And then that should come right off. And now that we got that off, I'm trying to distinguish where this fuel leak is coming from. I do believe that the fuel is coming up and it's actually flooding through the carburetor. Most likely the needle and seat is not working like it should. The fuel clamp is backed up on here, and that is not something that I did, so I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that someone has been in here before. So at this point, we just have a 3/8 bolt there and a 3/8 bolt on this side. We'll take those 2 loose. I've got to take this top cover off to get the nut on top of the auto choke system loose, and then we should just be able to swing the governor linkage off and take the fuel hose off, and we'll be able to take this carburetor off and put it up on the bench so we can take a look. Got those loose. Just swing it right off from there. Now we got the carburetor loose. Let's get it on the bench. And we've got it over here on the bench. There's going to be some fuel in here. Should be a 1/2 inch nut on the bottom, which is also your main jet. Go ahead and take that loose. Probably should have got something over here to collect all this fuel. But this bench is always covered in grease and grime anyway. So this is going to be your main jet on this particular carburetor. And I can already see that I cannot see through. There's one hole on each side, and then you have the main hole at the top. I can't see through the top yet, but I already can't see through the 2 side ones. And then your bowl will come right off. Try to be careful not to tear the O-ring. If you guys can see all the crud in there. Feels like sand. So, and you can see that the needle, this is supposed to go down. You can see that the needle is not going down. This float is supposed to be parallel with the carburetor, and it is not. So my guess is there's a lot of corrosion right down in there. And I can see what happened. I don't know if I'll be able to show you all or not, but the seat is not in the correct place. It's just kind of floating around in there. So I'll have to see if that seat is going to be savable or if that's something else that I'm going to have to get from my parts. But it looks like we're just going to have to do a good cleaning on this, see about the seat, and we'll double check everything. We'll just get it all cleaned up, and that should just be the issue. All right, well, I got you guys over here in some better lighting, and I will show you what the big problems were here. Obviously the needle was not sealing, and I was able to get it out, and I don't know if it'll focus, but you guys can see that that is pretty much destroyed. It was also sitting down in there sideways, and there looks to be some pick marks in it that was not from me. And also in the bottom of this bowl, I still need to clean it out. There were some scratch marks. So somebody's been in here before. They were cleaning out the bowl. Somebody damaged the needle seat and the O-ring to seal the bowl to the carburetor is just totally about rotted out, and I have a new one here that'll work. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything cleaned up, and I'll get it partially assembled. I'll show you guys, and then I'll get it fully assembled, and we'll get it back on the machine and see what we can do. And I've got everything pretty much cleaned up here. I went through and cleaned out the inside of the bowl. There was some residue from the old O-ring that was on here, and the stuff that you see at the bottom is actually just pitting in the metal. But that is spotless in there. Went through the main jet here, got all that cleaned up, went through the ports a couple times, sprayed some carb cleaner through. This is the gasket for the main jet. We've got the new O-ring on the outside and a new seat down in there, and it should be all set to go back together. So at this point, it's just putting the bowl back on, getting the O-ring on here, and I'll go ahead and get everything cinched up, and we'll go in reverse order and get this carburetor back on. And at this point, I've pretty much got most everything back connected. What I did do while I still had the fuel line off is I blew some compressed air through the tank here, try to get every last little bit that I could out to see if there was any more condensation. That way when we put some fresh gas in here, we won't have to worry about that again. When you hook up the auto choke linkage, if yours has that, just make sure that it is moving freely, and you can check to make sure that your throttle is moving free, and just snug up your bolts. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of fuel in the tank, give it about a minute, check for any leaks, and if it's good, I'll go ahead and put the intake cover back on here. We'll put some more fresh fuel in and see if it'll start up and run. Alright, well, it's been a few minutes, and I've checked for fuel leaks. I've got nothing. I've got a little bit of gas in here. So, and this is the ready start, so it should have the auto choke that we saw, and should just pull to start. So let's try it out. Alright guys, well, mower runs great. I'm excited about that. Got a little bit of cleaning on here and a little bit of stuff to just make sure it's all good to be able to put up for sale. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I bought this in an unknown condition, other than we were able to squirt some carb spray into it, and it did fire up, but I wasn't sure what all is wrong with it, and I just wanted to get it up and running today. So hopefully this quick video will help you guys out if you are having any kind of carburetor issues, and even if this isn't the exact one, you may be able to get an idea as to what's going on with your mower. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. So on that note, let freedom ring, let those small engines sing. I'll see you guys in the next one.